It is now my honor to introduce today's commencement speaker, Donovan Pepper. Mr. Pepper earned a bachelor's degree in political science from then Sangamon State University in 1994 and a master's degree in political studies from the University of Illinois at Springfield in 1996. Donovan was an exceptional student leader while a student at our university, so highly regarded that his fellow students surprised him at the end of his term as student government president by renaming the most prestigious student leadership award after him. Now, every year, one of our top students receives the Donovan Pepper Award. Mr. Pepper has had a distinguished career in the 20 years since his graduation, and he now serves as National Director of Local Government Relations for Walgreens Company. He is one of the most civic-minded citizens of Illinois, serving on many boards and building one of the strongest government relations networks in the state. I am particularly pleased that he has never forgotten the university where he earned his 2 degrees. And in 2008, the UIS Alumni Association bestowed on him its Loyalty Award for exceptional alumni service. Mr. Pepper travels around the country for his work, and it's common to see him on Facebook with famous people in famous places. He is not only an accomplished business executive, but also a respected colleague and friend to many who appreciate his affable nature and energy for life. He is a UIS alum who truly represents all that the phrase leadership lived means. Please join me in welcoming our 2014 commencement speaker, Donovan Pepper.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you for indulging me in that for a second. Last year, if you recall, the commencement speaker actually took photographs of her speech, of the audience, because she actually had not attended her ceremony. So I wanted to one-up her and do a selfie. Since my sons say I'm the king of selfies. Anyway, thank you, Chancellor Cook, for that wonderful introduction. It was really, really nice. And President Easter, Chancellor Cook, Trustee Sarah, and to the distinguished faculty and staff, and to the class of 2014, I am very honored and deeply grateful to be here today to speak to you. Congratulations to each and every one of you graduates today on the beginning of what will be an amazing journey in your life. As I mentioned last year, some of you may know that I was actually, on behalf of the Alumni Association, I was asked to speak to give the Alumni Association remarks. I gave brief remarks here, kind of what you will hear my friend today, John Lauder, who actually is also a UIS classmate of mine, as well as a former work colleague. You will hear him give a few remarks today. So late last year, when Chancellor Cook called me and asked me if I would be willing to give the address, I said, sure, no problem. I'd be more than happy to give the alumni remarks. And she said, no, 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 not the alumni remarks. We want you to be the commencement speaker. And so I stopped, I paused, and I said, wow. I said, either UIS must be lagging a little bit if they haven't graduated any distinguished alums since 1994. But the pressure's on, by the way, John, if you're going to speak. But I said, and a guy who sells drugs for a living at Walgreens, that's the best you can do? Now I thought, I could see if I were the CEO of Walgreens or some famous celebrity or a self-made millionaire that's about to give a large gift to the university. We could arrange that. Not yet. Hell, I could even imagine if they had an unindicted politician invited, you know. I could understand that. But I said yes. And since I'm here, I said yes. However, I have to confess. I said yes, I have to come clean. I said yes because I assumed that the commencement speaker were automatically bestowed a doctorate degree, an honorary doctorate. And so I thought this would be my fastest way to becoming Dr. Pepper. So last night I asked Ms. Thomas if she would be willing to trade places with me. And she said no, which I don't blame you. So I guess I'll have to earn my doctorate degree the old-fashioned way. I'll have to earn it. But anyway, but seriously, before I continue my remarks, I would be remiss if I did not recognize my mother, Karen, who is with us today. Karen, Mom, thank you. My father, William, unfortunately could not be here today. He's suffering from Alzheimer's, and so he couldn't be with us today. But I wanted to mention, without the love and support of my two parents and their encouragement of academic success to me and my siblings, I would not be here today. So thank you. Also, my wife and my two sons are here today, Dakota and Dylan. My wife Heidi and Dakota and Dylan. So thank you, guys. As I was preparing my remarks today, I spoke to a friend of mine actually a colleague of mine who's actually an author and who does a lot of public speaking. And so I asked him for some advice on public speaking, what I should say, and what I should talk about to you graduates today. And he said, Donovan, look, I don't know what you should talk about, but I will tell you this. Please keep in mind the first rule of public speaking. And I said, what's that? He said, remember the 5 B's. And I said, what? 5 B's? He said, be brief, brother, be brief. So I promised to do that this afternoon. As I said, I'm really honored to be here and share with you my memories of UIS and how this institution prepared me personally and for my career as a lobbyist and as a public affairs professional, working with elected and public officials across the country. If someone had told me 20 years ago, when I graduated from UIS, that one day I would work on interesting pieces of legislation or public policy initiatives that would help senior citizens get access to needed prescriptions, or work on intricate legislation deregulating the telecommunications industry, or advocate for high-speed rail or expansions of airports, or even be involved in the debate of whether Illinois restaurants should sell foie gras, I would have told you, you guys were crazy. My career has allowed me to meet and work with people like sitting and former presidents, U.S. senators, congressmen, governors, legislators, city council members, mayors from many cities across the country, small and large, just about every city across the country I've worked with because there's a Walgreens in that town. And even, as Dr. Cook mentioned, I occasionally come into contact with a few celebrities, some like LL Cool J, or Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas, or Mark Wahlberg. Everyone likes Mark Wahlberg, I bet. And even Magic Johnson. So I'm sorry, Donald Sterling, but I think that's pretty cool. But this has been a career that I truly love, and this path started with my education here and how it taught me about the importance of sharing my time, my talents, and my treasures. I owe so many aspects to who I am today to this university. My involvement in model Illinois government, there's some MIG alums out there? All right, good, there's a few, good, is what heightened my interest in legislative and practical politics, and is one of the reasons why I'm a lobbyist today. My time on student government and as president of the Student Government Association during the transition between Sangamon State University to the University of Illinois gave me great insight on how incredible opportunity can come from challenging situations, which is something I deal with on a daily basis in my professional life. My time as a residence assistant gave me great preparation in dealing with conflict mediation, which I use on many legislative and regulatory issues across the country in my current position at Walgreens. Who knew that managing roommate arguments about room temperatures or eating someone else's food in the refrigerator would be such a highly regarded life skill, right, Jim? Lastly, as you've heard, my wife Heidi is also an alum of the university, whom I met here on campus 24 years ago. This September, we'll have been married for 14 years, and as I mentioned, we have 2 sons. So not only did this institution get me started on my career path, it also got me started on my path for life as a husband and as a father. While I am appreciative of UIS for these things, I am even more grateful for something that took place 60 years ago before I was even born on this day, and is probably the reason why I can stand before you and address the class of 2014. On this very day, 60 years ago, May 17, 1954, the single most important piece of public education history took place. The landmark Supreme Court case, Brown versus Board of Education, was handed down on this date. And racially segregated public schools were deemed unconstitutional. There is no question that I owe my ability to attend high-quality, racially integrated public education institutions like the high school I attended or UIS to this landmark decision. I am eternally grateful and always aware that my education and career today is possible because of the justices of that court, and especially the hard work of Chief Justice Earl Warren 60 years ago today. On a side note, since I'm a political science student, some of you out here might know how this decision came to be. And as a professional lobbyist and a political scientist, I'm equally in awe of this decision because of just how Chief Justice Warren was able to fashion a unanimous decision by the entire court, which had been deeply divided on race issues on other cases and including this case at the beginning of the trial. To a lobbyist, this is a pretty cool accomplishment, to reach not only consensus on a divisive issue, but to reach a unanimous vote is quite simply something any good lobbyist wants every time. So my apologies for digressing on that, but what can I say? I'm still a political science geek. So in closing, I know that I'm supposed to say and share with you some inspirational words that will motivate you all to go out in the world with your degree in hand and live your dreams to the fullest. So I thought I would go back to something I mentioned earlier, back to the 3 T's that have made my career and life a happy one. I really didn't understand this in life until later in life, the importance of sharing these things. However, in fact, by your being here today, you've already begun these things. You've already begun to do these. You've sharing your time, your talents, and your treasures. You have given your time in pursuit of education for these countless hours that you've spent studying have paid off for today to get to this day. You've shared your talents with your professors, with your classmates, your coworkers, your family, and your fellow graduates. And lastly, you or your parents have given their treasures to this institution, and I'm here to tell you that is a sound and wise investment and money well spent. However, I'm going to challenge you today. I'm going to challenge you today to share your time, your talents, and your treasures beyond your soon-to-be new or your current employer, or in the pursuit of another graduate degree, or simply with your friends and your family. There are people, places, and causes outside of your sphere of influence that need your time, your talents, and your treasures. There's a quote by Martin Luther King, Jr. that really illustrates the importance of sharing the 3 T's, which I believe Dr. King's life exemplified. Dr. King said, and I quote, "Make a career of humanity. Commit yourself to the noble struggle for equal rights. You will make yourself a greater person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, and a finer world to live in," end quote. Each one of you in this room today will have a choice about the life you will create, and I hope you will think about how you will share your individual time, your unique talents, and your treasures, no matter how big or how small. You can all make a difference in the world. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the class of 2014. Thank you.